Klara here. Hello. Dating and love from the Love for Life Academy in the French beautiful sunshine at the ocean side. I want to speak today about something we don't often speak about in dating. Because let's be honest, most dating strategies fall apart in two categories. Either it's about me. How am I showing up? My self-confidence. What do I need to say? How can I be more sexy on a date, right? How can I work on my patterns and really become available for a relationship? It's all about me. But what I want is interaction, relationship. Or the other category, it's about him. What does a man want in a relationship? The 5 things a man needs to stay with a woman. Understanding a man from within, right? It's all about him. But what we are looking for is the interaction, the sense of being in a relationship, the space between us. The space between us, when we really start to feel into it, it's intimacy. It's feeling that there is something between us, that we are close. It's closeness. The space between us is the trust that I can say what I have to say and that I will be heard. The space between us is being able to be silent and still be connected even more. The space between us is feeling my skin already opening to your touch even before you touched me. The space between us makes you and me into a we. As professional women, we want this kind of relationship. We don't want just the practical organizational thing, like taking care of the children together. We have enough money to organize that if it's just about that, right? We want more. We want a relationship that truly fulfills us. There is that intimacy, that closeness, that trust, that openness, that magic, that sense of a we. The space between us is where that happens. It's the temple where you and me meet. The space between us, when we start focusing on that, then I'm not focusing on me and I'm not focusing on you, but I'm focusing on what is between us. And as soon as I shift my focus there, it starts to grow. What we focus on grows. So as soon as I bring my attention to the space between us, it starts to grow, and the sense of being together and in a relationship becomes so much more alive. And that is what pulls him in, right? To use that slogan. No, but seriously, the kind of man that you're looking for, who really wants a relationship, he wants that more than anything else, right? He wants to be a part of your life. But even more, he wants you to be part of his life. He wants that to be something between the two of you. I remember years ago when I was in a relationship and it was not going well, and we went to see a dating coach. And actually she couldn't help us much, but one thing she said was really important. And she already said it after, I think, like 15 minutes. She said, I don't really feel a relationship between the two of you. Oops. Oops. She was right, of course. There wasn't really a relationship between the two of us. And that was the main problem. That was why we couldn't solve our problems. There was no space in which we could solve that. So, how do you do that? Focus on the space between you. Well, it's very simple, really, right? Here's me, here's you, and I just feel and see that space between us. And what really helps very well is inquiring. How does that space feel? Does it feel solid? Does it feel flimsy? Does it feel airy? Does it feel grounded? Does it feel open? Does it feel sharp? Does it feel like I can trust it? Does it feel like I can surrender to it? Right? By asking myself those questions, how does it feel? How do I experience it? How do I experience myself in it? We start focusing on it and it comes alive. Maybe love is me holding you and you holding me. And together floating into infinity. And that happens in that space between us. I float out of my little island self and I come home to, wait a second, human beings are not as individualistic as we're always told. That's part of us, but just as much we live in our relationships. And women feel that very strongly, but we have no language for it, no images for it. And this image of the space between us really changes that. We are our relationships just as much as we are our bodies. And if this sounds weird, hey, how about thinking ecology, right? Biology is focused on all the separate species, but ecology is focused on the interaction between all of them, right? You can look through the lens of, hey, this is one species, what is it like? This is the other, what is it like? Or you can look through the lens, hey, here's this connection. That butterfly likes to live on this plant. They come together. How are they together? This plant likes to grow under that tree, next to this ocean, but not further land inwards. Right? Ecology, the whole system, the web of life. And in a relationship, we are looking to find back that sense of belonging to a web of life. And in this case, a web of two people, but really each of them has their own ecological system. So it's much more, but it's really about becoming free from that lens of always through me, or through you. And to actually start looking through the lens of, hey, that lane between us, that space between us, what is going on there? So it's not as weird as it sounds, but it's a huge paradigm shift. And nobody in dating teaches this, which is crazy, of course. Because especially as women, we are relational beings. We care about our relationships. I remember a friend of mine was sharing a story that she had two sons who were last grade of elementary school. And at the end of the year, they were all going to different schools. And the boys are, well, like, yeah, that's just going to happen. And then she was speaking to one of the other parents, and that was like, who had a girl in that class. Oh, all the girls are so upset. They're going to different schools now, and they're so concerned about how the friendships will continue. And did you see that too in your child? She was like, no, I don't. Now, this is, of course, very a stereotype. I absolutely know women who don't care a shit about relationships. I absolutely know men are concerned, who care deeply, deeply about relationships. So I don't want to make it as black and white as that. But I do want to give you permission to remember that side of you. And to allow it more space in dating. And it just begins with giving it your focus. What you focus on grows. Focus on the space between us. And it's in there that the relationship happens. And if you never learn to look at that, you will always stay alone. It sounds intense, but it is. It's only when we become aware of that space that it becomes important to not always do things my way, but to make sure that the space between us stays happy and healthy and warm. And then it's not so much about either we do it my way or we do it your way. No, what we both want is that the space between us stays good. And there's 1,000 ways to do that if I want A and you want B. Maybe today we do A, tomorrow we do B, maybe we do C, maybe we do B in A in B. You know, there's so many variations. I just want to sit close to you. Yeah, I want to go for a bike ride. Well, maybe I just want to sit on the back of your bicycle today. It's crazy, but maybe that's what I want, right? There's so many possibilities. Play with that. Focus on the space between us, and it will really open a different aspect of dating, and it will make pull in your partners and yourself so much more, and bring you that intimacy and that depth of connection that you're looking for. And don't forget, hit a like button, because that like button helps to keep the space between you and me alive, right? And once you clicked it, that's acknowledging, hey, there is something between you and me, and I want to see more of your videos, Klara. I have new ones coming up every week, so do hit that button. I love sharing all these beautiful insights about love and dating, the feminine, empowered feminine way. Relational dating, the space between us. So hit that like button. Be sure that next week you don't miss that video, because our world is pretty masculine and it is pretty individualistic. And if you don't get nourished with a different voice, we just get lost, right? And too many women have lost themselves in love already. So hit that like button. I also have an amazing training. If you're like, hey, wow, this woman, this rings true for me, how about simply working with me? That is what I do for my living, right? I coach women to find their life partners. So do check that out. And I have a training. The link is below. And it will show you how I work, how to apply to work with me. I don't work with everyone. I have the luck, I may say, to be very selective, so that the women who work with me are truly motivated. They're badass women, ready to do things very differently than anyone ever told them, and to get different results from what anyone ever thought was possible. So check that training out, and maybe I'll put up some more links to other related videos too. Let's just see. If so, you will find them down there. Thank you so much. Speak again soon, and we're here to support you. Love is there for everyone. Thank you. Aloha.